Do you like to be known just as Paxus, or do you have your last name?
It's
up to you.
There is a lot of stuff written about me, and it usually has both names. The last name is Calta, also C-A-L-T-A. And there's a Wikipedia entry on me. And actually, if you Google my name, the first entry is a Wikipedia entry, and the second entry is a banned Wikipedia entry, and the second entry is much more interesting than the first entry.
Okay, well, don't Google me and read what's there, because none of it's true. None of it, I swear.
And is it even you?
I swear.
It's
not me.
It's not you?
I swear. It's not me. So.
All right. You sitting comfortably?
Yes.
So there are about 2,000 organizations in the United States that identify themselves as intentional communities, and what these groups have in common is that they share things. And they share things of two types. They share material things like cars and buildings and bicycles and washing machines, and they share social, cultural things, the way they gather together and create a tribe or family or whatever it is that you want to call it. And these 2,000 organizations are divided relatively evenly between spiritual and secular communities. There are a bunch of spiritual communities in the United States, mostly Christian. They are mostly much larger, actually, than the secular communities. The secular communities tend to be 10, 12, 15. Twin Oaks is unusual at 100, and the spiritual communities can easily get into the hundreds. And so
Twin Oaks is unusual at 100.
Twin Oaks is very unusual at 100.
Most
Twin Oaks is yes, most of them are much, much smaller. Very few communities really get over 40. That's sort of you have to have multiple buildings and a whole bigger infrastructure to do bigger than that. Intentional communities, which are doing, like, there are many apartment buildings and condominium complexes that have lots more people than this. But one of the things that makes a community is that it does self-selection of its members rather than just who the real estate agent or who the landlord places in a particular place. So what these 2,000 communities are doing is we are a laboratory for different sharing experiments. Basically, what we do is we say the way that we can have a high quality of life and be poor is by figuring out ways to use things together. So the average group of 100 U.S. Americans has 67 cars. We have 17 cars, which means that if we can satisfy the transportation needs for the people who live here, then we can not buy, insure, and maintain 50 vehicles, which turns out to be a whole bunch of money.
Okay, can I back you up just a little bit? I'm surprised that you use the term laboratory for an experiment, in that I would have thought that the amount of time that this particular community, for example, has existed, you would have been able to go past the laboratory and experimental stage and have found, okay, this works.
We have a bunch of things that we think work, and we keep tinkering with them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I want to show you a couple of examples. I want to start with the cars, and then we'll go to the bikes, and then we'll go to the clothes. And these are sort of 3 different pillars of resources, and they have different symbolic representations, which will be handy to have on the camera.
Oh, cool.
We're going to go inside.